Have you ever stopped to wonder how profoundly social media influences our relationships? It's a question that might seem trivial at first glance, but when we pause to consider it, we realize that it's far from insignificant. In the world we live in, social media is not just a tool, it's a lifestyle. It's the first thing we check when we wake up and the last thing we look at before we go to sleep. We use it to stay in touch with friends, to keep up with the news, to share our joys and sometimes our sorrows. It's become such an integral part of our lives that it's hard to imagine a world without it. And yet, as much as social media connects us, it also has the power to influence us, sometimes in ways we don't fully understand. It's a dimension where we not only share our lives but also consume the lives of others. It's a realm where our relationships are on display, open to scrutiny, judgment, and comparison. This influence extends to our relationships as well. Our interactions, our bonds, our connections, all are now intertwined with this digital realm. We share our love stories, our breakups, our anniversaries, our arguments, all out there for the world to see. But do we ever stop to think about the impact of this digital exposure on our relationships? What happens when the line between our private lives and our digital personas blur? As we navigate this digital age, it's crucial to understand the impact of our online actions on our offline relationships. Because while social media can bring us closer, it can also push us apart. It can create unrealistic expectations, breed jealousy, and even lead to the dissolution of relationships. So, how do we navigate this complex digital landscape without letting it erode the foundation of our relationships? How do we maintain our authenticity in a world that constantly demands perfection? Let us delve deeper into this digital landscape and explore how social media might be affecting our relationships in not-so-positive ways. Let's embark on this journey together, to understand, to learn, and ultimately, to grow. Imagine being in a relationship where every detail is broadcasted to the world. How would that feel? Let's delve into the real-life story of Ava and Ben. They were a couple who loved to share their life on social media. From their morning coffee selfies to their late-night movie debates, their relationship was an open book for their followers. They seemed to thrive on this online attention, their love story unfolding in a series of posts and hashtags. But this constant spotlight began to take its toll. Every argument, every disagreement was amplified by their followers' comments and reactions. Their relationship was no longer just between them, it had become a public spectacle. They started to feel the pressure of maintaining this perfect image that they had created online. The authenticity of their connection was replaced by a curated narrative for likes and comments. They began to question their actions, their words, even their feelings. Was their love genuine, or was it just for the camera? Was their happiness real, or was it just a performance? The line between their real life and their online persona started to blur, causing confusion, doubt, and emotional strain. Eventually, the relationship that was once so full of love and laughter crumbled under the weight of public scrutiny. They realized that by oversharing, they had invited the world into their private moments, transforming their precious memories into public entertainment. They had lost their privacy, their peace, and unfortunately, each other. The downfall of Ava and Ben's relationship serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers of oversharing on social media. It shows us how an innocent desire to share one's happiness can turn into a damaging cycle of public validation and scrutiny. It underlines the importance of maintaining a boundary between our personal lives and our online personas. So next time you pick up your phone to share a piece of your relationship online, remember Ava and Ben. Remember that not everything needs to be shared and that some moments are best kept private. A private moment turned public spectacle can be the beginning of the end. Jealousy, an age-old emotion, has found a new playground: social media. In the vast world of likes, shares, and comments, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. Let's take a look at a case study, a tale of two lovers who allowed the green-eyed monster to creep into their relationship via the social media backdoor. Meet Alice and Bob, a couple who seemed to have it all. Their social media profiles were a parade of smiles, vacations, and endless declarations of love. But behind the screen, they were being torn apart by jealousy. Alice began to notice that Bob's posts were getting more likes than hers. It started as a harmless observation, but soon it spiraled into a full-blown obsession. She began to question her self-worth, her attractiveness, and even her love for Bob. Bob, on the other hand, was blissfully unaware of Alice's internal struggle. He was busy dealing with his own demons. He found himself constantly comparing their relationship to those of his friends. Their posts of surprise gifts, romantic getaways, and public displays of affection made him feel inadequate. He began questioning if he was doing enough for Alice, if their love was strong enough, or if he was enough. Social media, their once loved platform for connection, had turned into a battleground of comparisons and jealousy. Their relationship, which was once filled with love and trust, was now riddled with insecurities and doubt. The constant need to keep up appearances and outdo each other was slowly draining the joy out of their relationship. This story is not unique to Alice and Bob. It's a common narrative in the digital age, where love stories are often told through filters and carefully curated posts. The illusion of perfection and the pressure to live up to it can wreak havoc on relationships. So remember, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, it's just filtered. It's important to focus on nurturing our relationships in the real world and not let the virtual world dictate our happiness or self-worth. In this era of picture-perfect posts, how much pressure does it put on a relationship? Let's delve into the story of Emily and John, a couple who experienced the negative impacts of this phenomenon firsthand. Emily and John were like any other couple, sharing moments of their relationship on social media. They were caught up in the whirlwind of hashtags, likes, and comments. The joy of sharing their love story was soon replaced by the need to portray a flawless image to their followers. They started staging their moments, carefully curating their posts to match the perceived expectations of their audience. The focus of their relationship shifted from enjoying their time together to creating the perfect Instagram-worthy shots. As the pressure to maintain this flawless image grew, they found themselves swept away by the tide of perfection. They started to compare their relationship with others, scrutinizing every detail, every moment, every interaction. The constant comparison with the polished, filtered images of others led to feelings of inadequacy. They found themselves questioning their bond, their love for each other. The pressure to be perfect started to take a toll on their relationship. They felt a constant need to prove their love, not to each other, but to their followers. This led to arguments, misunderstandings, and eventually, a growing distance between them. The perfect image they were trying to portray was crumbling, and so was their relationship. The irony of their situation was clear. They were trying to project an image of a perfect relationship, but in reality, they were drifting apart. The pressure to be perfect had driven them to the brink of a breakup. Their story serves as a cautionary tale of the harmful effects of the pressure to portray a perfect relationship on social media. It's a stark reminder that real relationships are built on understanding, acceptance, and genuine love, not on the number of likes, comments, or shares. The strive for perfection can sometimes lead to imperfections. Relationships are about embracing each other's flaws and growing together, not about maintaining a picture-perfect image for the world to see. Can sharing too much online lead to a disconnect offline? In the vast expanse of the digital universe, a fascinating phenomenon is unfolding. A case study of a couple, let's call them Alice and Bob, provides an insightful exploration into this issue. They were a typical modern couple, their lives intricately entwined with their online personas. Every moment, every experience, every emotion was tastefully curated and shared with their virtual audience. As time passed, the line between their online and offline lives started to blur. They found themselves living for the perfect picture, the wittiest caption, the most likes. Their relationship, once vibrant and full of life, seemed to have become a mere performance. The couple, who used to spend hours lost in conversation, were now spending more time interacting with their screens than each other. The joy of sharing their moments with each other was replaced by the obsession of sharing them with the world. They were living under the constant scrutiny of the public eye, their relationship evaluated by likes, comments, and shares. The constant chatter of their online audience drowned out the quiet, intimate moments they used to share. The couple soon found that they were more comfortable expressing their feelings to their online audience than to each other. The virtual validation had become a substitute for the real connection they once shared. Their relationship, once a private sanctuary, had become a public spectacle. Alice and Bob's case is not an isolated one. It is a reflection of a growing trend, where the pressure to maintain an online persona overshadows the essence of real offline relationships. Their story serves as a stark reminder of the potential pitfalls of oversharing on social media. The question we must ask ourselves is, are we allowing our online lives to eclipse our offline ones? Are we trading real connections for virtual validations? Are we sacrificing our relationships at the altar of social media approval? When screens replace faces, connections can become disconnections. What happens when likes and comments become more important than love and communication? Picture this. A couple, let's call them Alex and Sam. They were like any other couple, sharing laughs, dreams, and even the occasional squabble. But there was one thing that set them apart. For Sam, social media wasn't just a pastime. It was a craving, a compulsion, an addiction. Each day, Sam would spend hours curating the perfect posts, the ideal images to portray their relationship as nothing short of a fairy tale. And why? For the likes, the comments, the shares, for the validation from complete strangers that their relationship was picture perfect. But what about Alex? Well, Alex started to feel like a prop, an accessory in Sam's social media spectacle. Their intimate moments, their shared secrets, were no longer just theirs. They were fodder for Sam's next post, the next attempt to rack up likes and comments. The irony? While Sam was busy collecting virtual hearts, they were losing the heart that truly mattered, Alex's. The constant need for online approval began to overshadow their real-life connection. Conversations were replaced with captions, emotions with emojis, and love with likes. And when Alex tried to voice their concerns, Sam dismissed them. After all, they were getting hundreds of likes, so they must be doing something right? Wrong. Because in their quest for virtual validation, Sam had overlooked one crucial detail. The only like that truly mattered was the one they were losing, Alex's. This is a cautionary tale, a reminder that while social media can connect us to the world, it can also disconnect us from those right beside us. It's a warning that when we let our need for online approval dictate our relationships, we risk losing the very thing we're trying to portray: genuine connection, genuine love. In the pursuit of virtual likes, don't lose the real love. We've seen how social media can negatively impact relationships, but what can we do about it? Today, we've walked a mile in the shoes of the digital age, where social media has become an integral part of our lives. We've explored how oversharing can lead to unintended consequences, and we've delved into the jealousy factor, where the seemingly perfect lives of others can stir up feelings of inadequacy. We've scrutinized the pressure to be perfect, and how it can create a chasm between reality and the digital facade. We've also discussed the disconnect that can occur when we prioritize our online interactions over our real-life relationships, and the addiction to validation we might develop from the constant bombardment of likes and comments. So, where do we go from here? How can we navigate the digital landscape without letting it erode the foundations of our relationships? The answer lies in balance and mindfulness. Firstly, it's essential to establish boundaries when it comes to sharing about our relationships online. Not every moment needs to be publicized, and not every argument should be aired out for the world to see. It's okay to keep some things private, to cherish those moments that are meant just for the two of you. Secondly, we have to remember that what we see on social media is often a highlight reel. It's easy to get caught up in the illusion of perfection, but we should always keep in mind that everyone has their own struggles, and they're rarely shown on social media. Next, we need to be mindful of the time we spend on social media versus the time we spend in real-life interactions. It's easy to get lost in the digital world, but it's important to remember to look up from our screens and engage with the world around us. Lastly, we need to remember that validation should come from within, not from the number of likes or comments we receive. We are more than our online presence. and our worth is not defined by our social media engagement. In conclusion, it's essential to use social media as a tool to enhance our lives, rather than letting it dictate our self-worth and relationships. It's about being mindful of our online behavior, setting boundaries, and remembering to engage with the world beyond our screens. Let's not allow the digital world to overshadow our real-world relationships. Let's use social media as a platform to connect, to share, and to grow. But let's also remember to keep our feet firmly planted in the reality of our lives and our relationships. In the end, it is about finding balance. After all, social media should enhance our relationships, not replace or harm them. Let's strive for that balance, and let's make our relationships stronger, both online and offline.